Victoria's Secret has also named a new CEO while we were out on vacation. According to Retail Touchpoints, Victoria's Secret and Company has named Anthropologie and Savage by Fenty veteran Hilary Super as its new CEO and the member of the board, also effective September 9th. Something must be in the water on September 9th. Current CEO Martin Waters, who has helmed the company since late 2020, will step down, and Chief Financial Administrative Officer Timothy Johnson will fill the role on an interim basis until Super takes over. Super brings nearly 3 decades of retail merchant experience and a successful track record leading brands at the highest level, most recently as CEO of Rihanna's intimates and accessories brands, and prior to that as global CEO of the Anthropologie Group. She also has held a variety of merchandising and operator roles at retailers, including Guess, American Eagle Outfitters, Gap, and Ann Taylor. In fact, we overlapped together at the Gap. I remember her well. Adam, just how super is this hire, pun intended? And similar to the last headline, on what should the new Victoria's Secret CEO try to accomplish within her first year on the job?
No, absolutely. So I think Hillary's absolutely a super hire. She is a long-time merchant, and having a long career in merchandising enables you to really have that balance between what is the bleeding edge of fashion and innovation, while what is actually merchandisable or commercial and can drive long-term financial success. I think if you think about where she's coming from in the journey of Victoria's Secret, Martin's been there a long time. I think 2008 is when he started in international, and he's built a solid foundation for Hillary. Over the last few years, he carved it out, right? So separated from Bath and Body Works, he built digital capabilities. And one of his other accomplishments was to unlock the profitability that would allow them to fund innovation. So now Hillary's walking into this company where they're ready to go, they're ready to reinvent themselves. They've started on that journey, but they haven't figured out how to appeal to the younger consumer. But what I'd actually advise her to do, rather than starting to take a lot of risks initially, is I would tell her to figure out how to turn the trend around. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's not about taking big risks right now. It's about doing what she needs to do in order to get the multiple years of sales declines to level out, because that will give her the credibility with the investor community to start taking those big risks that the brand needs in order to find that innovation and find out how to appeal to the customers that have candidly been the customers at brands that she's worked for in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I 100%. And Chad, I'm curious to get your opinion because you've got a extensive marketing background here too. I mean, her resume is awesome. Like, it's incredible. And they took it and they took her from a competitor too, which is also a big coup. But, to me, I think, to extend your point, Adam, like, the rebrand here is really important. Like, how do you brand Victoria's Secret so it has a purpose to today's modern consumer? And so, Chad, I'm curious, what's your take here?
Yeah, I agree with the things that Adam said, but I'd probably put a little bit more gasoline behind it versus, a little bit more of a tiptoe conservative approach.
Okay.
Right? So let's look at the hire for a second. You said it, Chris, right? It always looks good to hire a rival that's performing well, right? Now, granted, she's been at Savage by Fenty for a year, right? So
right, good point.
That's not the track record that you really are saying, okay, that's why she'll be successful in Victoria's Secret, and you go beyond that. But I think even that hire itself starts an aggressive marketing and branding. Not that
it does. You're right.
Market, but it's starting to say things are different here, right? And they have made steps under Martin toward inclusiveness and diverse body types. I wouldn't say they're known for it yet, right? But they've started to lay that foundation, as Adam was saying. In my opinion now is that it's time to really double down on it, right? Where, for instance, do you think the average consumer even knows that Victoria's Secret, acquired Adore Me, right? Like, you go to the website and you see connections of VS and Pink. You don't see that, still separate platform. Like, you're not getting credit for that. Like, small example, but it seems like there are opportunities to say, we've turned the corner to starting to redefine that image and testing that impact without alienating your loyalists. And now it's time to really commit yourself to it. And that's how you're actually going to get the big revenue jumps and turn the corner.
So, Ann, I deliberately saved the best the most probably competent person to talk on this subject amongst the four of us for last. So, what do you think here? I mean, do you agree with Chad? Do you agree with Adam and what I've said? Do you think she's the right person for the job? And do you think her experience at Savage by Fenty will actually help her to shift the the consumer perception of Victoria's Secret in a way that's positive?
I think that the biggest thing here for her, I agree with Chad, like a year at Savage by Fenty, I think was probably just enough to get a taste of this
Taste of what's
Savage by
working.
yeah, Savage by Fenty is like on a roll, they're on a trajectory, and you have a real turnaround here. And I think Victoria's Secret is so smart in hiring her because Victoria's Secret's number one problem is the product. It has been for the last 10 years. I think they have been slow to bring in things like fit technology. They've been slow to bring in other like approaches in the store to really help have me as a consumer who has to purchase your product every 6 months out getting the right product for my body. It's still young, like, you know, new hires coming in that are not specialists anymore to help me with a very intimate and very important purchase that I make every day. And so I think for nothing else, like she's just got the merchandising background to really take a hard look at like, what is the modern bra consumer looking for? How do I work on factories and the right manufacturers to create these products and to be able to adapt and create things more efficiently and react to what my customers are saying? And how do I get this set of product that really is in demand again with your consumer set, which it just hasn't been for a long time. So I think she's got a great team of people also at Victoria's Secret, you know, Chris Rupp being one of those who's really trying to push technology and really push like this feedback loop with customers in store. So I think it's hands down, it's about product and the product problem that they have at Victoria's Secret, both from the things on the shelves and what the overall customer's perception is as a result.
The only thing the devil's advocate in me would say, and this is one thing that I found curious about the announcement, Chad, you alluded to it too, in the sense when you said like she's only been there a year. It also does make me question how successful Savage by Fenty really is, because it is unusual for a successful startup to lose their CEO at this point when they're on the precipice of a potentially big growth trajectory. I have no idea, but I think that's interesting. And so it makes me wonder, you know, but she should still, regardless, have a good sense of what was working and what doesn't. So like, Anne, you mentioned fit technology. Was that really worth the investment or was it not? And do they need to focus on the actual product and the brand positioning of Victoria's Secret more so than, you know, some of those things? So I don't know, but that was one angle to this story too that I thought was really intriguing.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'd add too is like it's new categories that Victoria's Secret needs to get into. Like you look at the success of Skims and like Victoria's Secret is not playing in that game at all. And they should be a huge competitor. Like they have the you know, manufacturing facilities. They have the ability to kind of like get up there and provide some real competition in that space. And they're not even close. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity too that hopefully she took from, you know, having a famous partner in Rihanna for Savage by Fenty that hopefully she can like leverage too as she's kind of creating these new products and really trying to drive awareness for those consumers as well.